$20,000 can disappear in a weekend. A used car, a kitchen renovation, a treat-yourself shopping spree that felt justified at the time. Or $20,000 can quietly turn into $200,000 given the right decisions and enough time. Same number, two completely different futures. And the only thing standing between those two outcomes is what you do in the next 30 days. If you have recently come into $20,000 through savings, an inheritance, a bonus, or years of disciplined work, you are standing at one of the most important financial decision points most people ever face. Most people freeze here. They let the money sit in a checking account earning almost nothing, paralyzed by too many options and not enough clarity. Today, that ends. I am giving you a complete, no-nonsense plan for exactly where this money should go, in exactly what order. Welcome back. I am Warren, and this channel exists to turn financial confusion into financial action. If you are ready to make this money work as hard as you did to earn it, hit that like button right now, subscribe, and let us build your plan. Let us be clear about something before we start moving any money. There is no single best investment for $20,000 in isolation. The right plan depends on your personal financial picture, your debt, your emergency savings, your retirement accounts, and your goals. What I am giving you is a proven order of operations that applies to the vast majority of people deploying a meaningful sum of money for the first time. Follow this order, and you will avoid the most common and most expensive mistakes people make with windfalls like this. Step 1. Confirm your emergency fund is solid. Before this money goes anywhere near the stock market, stop and ask yourself one question. Do I have 3 to 6 months of living expenses sitting in an accessible, liquid account? If the honest answer is no, this is where a meaningful portion of your $20,000 needs to go first. Here is why this comes before investing, even though it feels like the less exciting choice. Investments are meant to grow over years. Emergencies happen on a timeline of days. If your only $20,000 goes straight into the market and your car breaks down 4 months from now, you are forced to sell investments to cover it, possibly at a loss and almost certainly interrupting the compounding process you were trying to start. An emergency fund is not separate from your investment plan. It is the protection that allows your investment plan to actually survive contact with real life. Open a high-yield savings account if you do not already have one. Online banks in 2026 are commonly offering 4 to 5% annual yields, meaning this safe money is still working for you while it waits. Allocate enough of your $20,000 to bring this fund to 3 to 6 months of expenses. For many people, this means setting aside somewhere between $5,000 and $10,000 of the total before moving on to the next step. Step 2. Attack any high-interest debt immediately. If you are carrying credit card debt, a personal loan, or any other debt with an interest rate above roughly 8 or 9%, this is the next stop for your money, and arguably the highest return move on this entire list. Here is the math that makes this non-negotiable. The average credit card interest rate in 2026 sits close to 20%. The long-term average annual return of the stock market is roughly 7 to 10%. If you invest your $20,000 while still carrying a $5,000 credit card balance at 20% interest, that balance is growing nearly twice as fast as your investments are. You are running uphill on a treadmill that is actively working against you. Paying off high-interest debt is mathematically equivalent to earning a guaranteed return equal to that interest rate. A 20% interest rate eliminated is a 20% guaranteed return, something no stock, fund, or investment strategy can promise you with certainty. List every debt you are carrying by interest rate, highest to lowest, and direct a portion of your $20,000 to eliminate the highest rate balances first. Once a debt is paid off, the monthly payment you were making does not need to disappear. Redirect that exact amount into your ongoing investment contributions going forward. Step 3. Capture your full employer 401k match. If you are employed and your company offers any kind of retirement matching, this needs to be addressed before your remaining lump sum goes into a regular brokerage account. Employer matching is the closest thing to free, guaranteed money that exists anywhere in personal finance, and an enormous number of people are not contributing enough through their paycheck to capture the full amount. Here is how this connects to your $20,000, even though 401k contributions come from your salary, not a lump sum deposit. If you are not currently contributing enough to get the full match, increase your contribution percentage through your employer's portal right now. Then, use a portion of your $20,000 to supplement your monthly take-home pay during the adjustment period, so the increased contribution does not create unnecessary strain on your budget. This allows you to capture every available matching dollar, often worth thousands of dollars annually, without disrupting your day-to-day finances. Step 4. Maximize a Roth IRA. Once your emergency fund is solid, your high-interest debt is eliminated or under aggressive attack, and your employer match is fully captured, the Roth IRA becomes one of the most powerful destinations for the remainder of your $20,000. In 2026, you can contribute up to $7,000 annually to a Roth IRA, or $8,000 if you are 50 or older. The power of this account lies in its tax treatment. You contribute money that has already been taxed, but every dollar of growth inside the account and every dollar you eventually withdraw in retirement is completely free from federal income tax. $7,000 invested today, growing at a historical average of 7% annually for 30 years, becomes approximately $53,000. In a Roth IRA, every cent of that growth belongs to you, with no tax bill waiting at the end. If you have not already maxed out a Roth IRA for the current year, allocate the appropriate portion of your $20,000 here. It is one of the single highest leverage accounts available to the everyday investor, and the earlier you fill it, the more time that money has to compound completely tax-free. Step 5. Invest the remainder in a taxable brokerage account. After your emergency fund, your debt elimination, your employer match, and your Roth IRA contribution, whatever remains of your $20,000 belongs in a standard taxable brokerage account. This account does not offer the tax advantages of a retirement account, but it offers something equally valuable: complete flexibility. No contribution limits, no early withdrawal penalties, and no restrictions on when or how you access the money. The investment selection inside this account matters enormously, and this is where many first-time investors make costly mistakes. Faced with thousands of available stocks, funds, and speculative assets, people often either freeze completely or chase whatever investment is trending in the news that week. The research-backed answer for the overwhelming majority of investors is far simpler than the options suggest: a low-cost, broadly diversified index fund. An S&P 500 index fund gives you partial ownership in 500 of the largest, most established companies in America in a single purchase. A total market index fund expands that further, covering thousands of companies across every size and sector. Both typically carry expense ratios below 0.1%, meaning the cost of owning them is almost negligible compared to actively managed alternatives, which often charge 10 to 20 times as much while underperforming their benchmark more than 80% of the time over any 20-year period. For most people, building long-term wealth, boring, diversified, and low-cost beats exciting, concentrated, and expensive almost every time. Step 6. Prepare yourself for volatility before it happens. This final step is not about where to put your money. It is about how to think once the money is invested, because the single biggest threat to your $20,000 plan is not a bad investment choice. It is panic. At some point after you invest this money, the market will drop. Maybe 10%, maybe 20%. This is not a possibility. It is a certainty over any sufficiently long time horizon. And when it happens, the emotional pull to sell, to wait until things calm down, or to move everything to cash will feel completely rational in the moment. It is also, historically, one of the most expensive decisions an investor can make. Every significant market downturn in history has eventually been followed by a recovery and new highs. Investors who panicked and sold during downturns like 2008 or 2020 locked in their losses permanently. Investors who stayed invested through the volatility recovered fully and, in many cases, saw their portfolios multiply in the years that followed. Decide now, before the drop happens, that your plan is to stay invested regardless of short-term market movement. That single mental commitment, made in advance, will likely do more for your long-term outcome than any individual fund selection you make today. Here is the complete order of operations for your first $20,000. Confirm your emergency fund is fully funded. Eliminate any high-interest debt with urgency. Capture every available dollar of your employer's 401k match. Maximize your Roth IRA contribution for tax-free growth. Invest the remainder in low-cost, diversified index funds inside a taxable brokerage account. And mentally commit right now to staying invested through the inevitable volatility ahead. This is not a complicated plan. It does not require predicting the market, picking winning stocks, or having any special financial expertise. It requires following the right order, automating what you can, and having the discipline to leave the plan alone once it is in motion. $20,000 deployed this way and left to compound for 20 or 30 years has the realistic potential to become hundreds of thousands of dollars. Not through luck, but through structure and patience. The money is already in your hands. The only thing left is the decision to actually put this plan into motion this week, rather than letting it sit in a checking account earning nothing while you keep researching. Drop a comment below and tell me which step you are tackling first. I read every single one. And if this video gave you real clarity on what to do next, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this with someone who just came into some money and has no idea where to start. I am Warren, and I will see you in the next one.